Whew, it's cold out tonight. Okay, so I'm flying solo tonight, obviously. When we finally get all these videos uploaded on YouTube, it's just a massive YouTube dump. But this is the third movie I think I'm reviewing in the past week or so. And this one I decided to go see Unbroken, which is the Angelina Jolie directed movie. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this was such a huge fucking disappointment. This movie fucking sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna get into why, but I was like okay with it. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was okay until about the third quarter, like the last third of the movie, and then it just got really confusing, really muddled, no fucking sense, like just stupid shit. And I'm gonna get into that because, oh man, and I was looking forward to this movie. This wasn't like The Interview where I just knew I was gonna hate it. I was actually hoping that, I maybe pleasantly surprised, like Monuments Men, that I actually liked, but God, this movie fucking sucked. Oh, and it took, no, this really fucking sucked. God, okay, so where to begin? First, for those who don't know, if you have not heard about this movie for some reason, is Unbroken is a movie about a Olympic athlete named Louis. I forget his last name. Louis, something hard to pronounce. And he's in the war. He's in World War II, and while he's on a mission, his plane gets shut down. And after something like 46 days out at sea on nothing to go off except a raft and a couple other people, gets captured by Japanese forces and then gets sent to a detention camp where he gets the crap beat out of him before he's transferred to a coal mine where he gets the crap beat out of him some more, and then he gets rescued. Boom. Whole movie. That's all 2 hours I summed up in like a minute. Yeah, so things like this movie's interesting in that it feels like it wants to it's trying to tell this whole story, but they're very there's like very distinct sections of it. Like, there's like a whole hour. No, not an hour. It felt like an hour. It felt like a half hour, 45 minutes where they're just on the raft. They're just on the raft. They're showing how he survived with his other buddy, and one other guy gets, I'm not making any sense. So after they get shipwrecked, they're not shipwrecked, their plane crashes. I'm tired. Once their plane crashes, they have nothing to go on. There's only Louis and two other survivors. One's named Mac, and the other one's named Henry or something like that. I don't remember. And they're the only two survivors on these two inky-dinky little life rafts. And they stay alive there for like 46 days. And it spends a good chunk of time on those 46 days. Like, this makes up a good second half of the movie. This makes up a good 45 minutes to an hour at least, I think. And some of it's interesting. It reminded me a lot of the Watchmen comic within a comic. I forget what that's called. You can remind me in the comments. I'm sure somebody remembers. But, I'm gonna fact check this real quick because this is bugging me. Like, I don't know how accurate this is to the actual story. I'm just based on what I saw, I'm willing to go with kind of. Oh, here we go. Oh, Zamborini, that was the guy's name. Louis Zamborini, who's the Olympic athlete who got captured by Japanese forces. He got sent to a detention center. And I do want to talk a bit of what I didn't like of this movie, because there were a few things I liked. I thought the performance of the leading guy was pretty solid. I think he did a pretty good job of what he was given. Some of the other guys did a good job too. Okay, so apparently this is based on a book. Sorry about that long pause. I'm learning shit right now. I'm trying to look at this. I guess from what I have here, like, the movie follows the book pretty closely. But even then, I felt like a lot of what the movie's main problem. Oh wait, I was going to our positives first. Like, I like the performance of the lead guy. One other thing, this is kind of a minor thing, but considering how many war movies I've seen, it's kind of a big deal for me at least. It's the fact there's actually a lot of color in this movie. Very, like, even the more bland colors kind of stick out a lot more. There's like, the sky is a very rich blue, the ocean is a very rich blue, the rafts have a very distinct yellow, everything's bright. It's surprisingly colorful for a war movie. I mean, a lot of war movies I see nowadays are so fucking bleak and gray and green and mucky and mossy and just kind of disgusting. This one's like surprisingly very vibrant colors, so that's kind of a cool plus. I did like some of the stuff they showed about kind of how they survived, like eventually. My audience was kind of weird. I had a packed house. There was barely a seat left in the theater when I was there. I was really surprised. But I kind of liked how they showed them, like, how they have to try to eat bird, but it didn't end well. So they use a bird they catch to fish, to use for bait for fishing, and then they eventually just say fuck it and capture a shark, which my audience laughed at. I thought that was kind of weird. It's like, what? If there's sharks swimming around me and I can catch one, fuck yeah, I'm eating a shark, okay? You give me shipwrecked for over 20-something days. I'll eat whatever I can fucking get. So, I don't know, it's kind of a weird reaction to me. But, so I like that stuff, and I was interested initially in what they were doing with the detention camp. But then it just completely fucking lost me at one point, and I was like, oh dear God. Oh, and... Okay, so that pretty much sums up what I did like about it. I'm sure I'll think of more things as I go forward. Let me talk about things that really pissed me off. Okay, first off, the movie feels like, and I don't know if this is, I'm pretty sure this, I don't know if this is a PG-13 or an R, but it just feels like the movie wanted so badly to be this brutal, gripping war movie where he showed just how horrible it is and how much pain and suffering they had to go through. And I'm all for that. The problem is, it just pussies out on showing anything. Anything. Like, every time a soldier is beaten up or something like that, it's done off screen. Even like the stuff that should leave pretty big marks are pretty shallow. Like, there's a part where the main villain of the movie, which I don't really know why this movie needed a main villain. I guess that might be in the way in the book. I don't know. They just call him the Bird, and I'll talk about him in a minute because he's a whole other rant that I'm gonna work my way up to. But he's called the Bird, and one night, out of fucking nowhere, he just rushes into the bunkers where he's staying and just beats the shit out of him with this like whip thing. And I guess the audience I was in has never seen like a brutal war movie before, because everyone's going, ooh, ah, and I'm just like, really? This is what gets you that way? And like the best he gets like a little gash on his ear and some marks on his cheek, and that's really like the most brutal it gets. Like, guys, this is fucking nothing. In Fury, there is a guy pancaked on the frickin' tire, on the frickin' tank treads. So you want to talk about fucking brutal? This is nothing. But I don't know, it's stuff like that. It feels like it wanted to show the brutality, but it also didn't want to alienate everyone. And you can't have it both ways. I'm not saying it has to be a gratuitous gut-wrenching gore fest, but show something. You want me to feel that it's brutal? You gotta show me something. Don't just. I guess I just looked it up. A lot of critics calling it kind of watered down, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's watered down war violence. It like kind of shows the aftermath, actually what they go through. And even when they do show them going through it, it's very toned down. It's clearly not trying to leave like the impact that the movie obviously wants to leave on you. So it's like it's trying to have its cake and eat it too, but it just doesn't work. So like a lot of the imagery, a lot of the brutal, like this brutal imagery, I'm just like, this is nothing. This is leaving no impact on me whatsoever, because I've seen this shit done way better in other movies, and I've seen all this before. If you want me to have a movie make an impact on me, you gotta give me something to work with. And that leads me kind of to my second complaint. I'm sorry, there's a Red Bull truck that just pulled past me and it has one of those cans on the trunk, and it really distracted me for a couple seconds there. Anyway, and there's the second problem, is the fact that the characters in this movie, aside from Louis, are not developed at all. Like, none. At no point is any other character except the bird. Again, I'm gonna get to him. I'm real hyping that up, but this character pissed me off so much. But for example, like there's two other guys on the boat with Louis after their plane crashed. I mentioned that before. Mark and Henry, whatever the hell his name is. By the time they get rescued, I don't know anything about them at all. Like, I don't know a single thing about Henry. I don't know a single thing about Mac, except he's kind of a dick. That's all I know about them. The movie gives me nothing to remember these characters by, except that they told me nothing about them. That's the only way I remember them, and that's really infuriating to me, because the movie clearly wants you to care what happens to them, but I don't care because you haven't given me a reason to. And that's kind of the big problem with this movie, is that it doesn't give me a reason to care about a majority of these people. And that is really, really bad in a war movie. I just realized I haven't ranted like this in a long time. I didn't rant this much during the interview. I was just tired after the interview. This one, I'm getting mad. This movie really frustrated me. Okay, so... Fuck, what was I saying? Alright. So, yeah, like, none of the other characters developed. Even, like, the detention camp. Like, yeah, it's like, you don't recognize people aside, like, oh, it's that guy, and oh, it's that guy. I don't even have, like, a distinguishing marker to give them, like, oh, he's the guy that draws maps, and he's the kind of sort of leader guy, and that's all I have to go by. I don't know anything about them other than that. So, it's like, if I don't know them, why should I care what happens to them? Because they keep popping up. They're supposed to have some kind of emotional impact, but they don't. And that's really fucking bad for a movie if they don't leave an impact. That's especially for a war movie. A war movie, like the soldiers around you are key to get you emotionally invested. But if you can't even pull that off, then you have fuck. Okay. Now, before I start rambling off too much, I do want to talk about my big giant fuck all complaint in this movie, which is the villain. The bird, who is the only other character who I'm gonna take anything away from this movie, but not for the reasons the movie clearly wants me to. I don't know who played this guy, but oh my god, he is trying so fucking hard to be intimidating. He is trying so fucking hard to be threatening. He is trying so fucking hard to be a complex villain, and he fails on every front. Every front, this guy fucking bombs. And the movie makes such a big deal about him too. That's like, it wouldn't bug me so much, and the movie didn't make such a big deal out of him. Because he just keeps popping up, and it's just dumb shit and dumb shit. And, like, I'll give you an example. There's a part in the movie when they're in the detention center, and Louis gets dragged into the office to, like, say that, oh, you're a famous athlete, so you can go over to the radio station and record a message to your family back in the U.S., as kind of, you know, kind of like, hey, we have your son, ha 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 ha, kind of thing. And then, while they're explaining this to him, the villain, the bird, is sitting on his chair at his desk, and he starts doing these scenes like, Mommy, Daddy, it's me. And he's trying so fucking hard to be creepy, and he just so spectacularly fails at it. And it's just, every time he popped up on screen, I rolled my eyes. It got to that point where I was like, oh, Jesus, we're doing this again. Because then they start doing this shit, and this is where things just got really fucking confused me. This is where it completely lost me, because on this point, I was kind of on the fence whether or not I like this movie. But this is just where it just completely fucking lost me, is the fact that for some reason, I have no clue why, the bird seems to feel like Louis is his friend because he stared him in the eye the first day they went to the detention center. I'm not kidding. That's it. And from there, the movie just assumes you feel that there's a connection between these two characters. There's fucking not. And they just keep pushing it up to like the final moment, which again is also worthy of its own rant because it's really fucking just weird. Look, in my time, I've seen my good and bad war movies. And but I can't think of a war movie that has had a villain this non-threatening. At least that I've seen anyway. I'm sure there are, but to me I was like, you are such a waste of space. Go away. You serve no real purpose. You're not scary, you're not threatening, you're not intimidating. Just go away. You can't fucking act. And I don't know if it's a fault of the actor or the script, and the script is another thing I'll rant about in a bit. But it just does not work the way they want it to. It feels really forced and really contrived, and it just doesn't work. And that leads up to the climax of the movie, I guess. I guess you can call it a climax, where Louis and the people in the detention center gets off to a coal mine where conveniently the bird has just been promoted to. So now he's there again, and he's still giving Louis shit. And there's a part towards the end where while they're working, Louis decides he can't work anymore, so he tries to take a break, but he gets caught taking a break, and the bird makes him hold up a wooden plank, a heavy wooden plank, for hours, telling him that if he drops the plank, he's going to be shot. So he stands out there holding the block over his head like this, and it's in the trailers, you've seen the shot, for what I can only assume hours. And at this point, apparently this is the most exciting thing going on because everyone, everywhere has stopped working. For some reason. It makes no sense to me why they all stopped to watch this. And you can tell Louis getting tired. He's like, oh, I'm tired. Oh. But everyone's on the sideline, and some are going, come on, Louis. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, Louis. I believe in you. And then it has this is where it just gets fucking weird. Like, not even just, like, it's just fucking weird. Where, for no reason that I can think of at all, like, the bird is just watching him, and he looks like he's gonna tear up for some reason. I don't know why. It really, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and this is where I just completely just, this is like, okay, I'm done. I give up on this movie. I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. Man, the weirder part is it gets to a point where Louis gets like one last burst of strength and holds a plank high over his head and goes, no! Like he's the fucking Hulk. And that's when apparently just the bird fucking loses it. And he starts, like, I'm exaggerating obviously, but you know, that's kind of what he's doing. And he's like, don't look at me, don't look at me! And he just has a hissy fit. It just beats the shit out of Louis and just leaves him there, and he starts crying and screaming in the heavens. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why is he having this reaction? This makes no fucking sense why he would have this reaction. Like, nothing of this character suggested why he would give a shit. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm having a mental breakdown. That was the part where it's like, I don't get what is happening. None of this makes any fucking sense. Oh, Jesus. Mary of Bethlehem. Oh. Ah. Okay. I need to take a break from the bird, because apparently that's just my trigger point, is the bird in this movie. Oh, and then after, you know, America comes in and saves the day, Louis goes back into his office and goes into his office, finds that the bird is gone, he's run off, and he looks like at his like cabinet, I guess, and sees like a picture when he was a kid with his dad. And I guess that's supposed to humanize him? I don't get it! I don't get it! Why did he... This is not the reaction I was expecting when I walked out of this movie. Oh. Okay, so let's talk about other things then. So, and here's my other problem with the movie is the script. Again, I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if it was Angelina Jolie or not. But every fucking line in this fucking movie is clearly designed for Oscar bait. I mean, this is pure Oscar-bation at its finest. Every line in this movie is meant to have some big, stirring, motivational bullshit, or it's supposed to be like a supposedly real conversation line they're gonna tie back into later, and it's gonna be all deep and shit. It's not. Like, when the three guys were on the raft, there's a part where Louis goes in this long spiel with this weird dramatic music playing in the background about how his Italian mom used to cook food and how she would cook it, which feels like a dick move after all their food is gone. But then, like, when Mac, and spoiler alert, Mac, it looks like he's gonna die, he looks at it and goes, "What food is your mom cooking right now, Louis?" And Louis looks at him and goes, "You decide, Mac. You decide." And just stupid bullshit like that, contrived shit I've seen in a million other movies, and this is just so cheesily done. I was rolling my eyes like, oh, Jesus Christ. And even like a lot of the soldier banter, it feels like, hey, we saw this in Band of Brothers and Pacifica, let's just do the same shit. Just, I don't know, just dumb things like that. And it made, at no point in the entire movie did I ever feel any of the people talking to each other or ever actually really talking to each other. It felt like just a series of Oscar cliches thrown together in a line and just shoved out the actors' mouths. At no point did I feel like anyone was having a real conversation. Again, that's a problem for a movie that is clearly trying to get nominated. And I felt bad, because, like, aside from the bird, most of the actors were perfectly fine. They were perfectly capable. But it just, the script is not there. I'll give credit to this. The action scenes are decent. Like I said, I like the cinematography. I thought the cinematography was actually very nice. It's like, and that's the problem, is I really like the ideas at the time of this movie. I like the idea of, like, willpower and not letting things break you and shit like that. Like, kind of like the trailers kind of told us we were gonna get, but surprisingly it's really not. It just mostly is one guy having the worst fucking luck ever. So, I don't know, I think I kind of covered everything I can think of. But yeah, this movie was really disappointing, because I was actually looking forward to this one. I was like, okay, this doesn't look half bad. Maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe I can have a good time with it. But no, instead we got this shit, and it's so disappointing. This movie is just so disappointing, and I really wanted to like this movie. I even wanted just to feel like, okay, until the bird shows up, I was even just kind of like, okay, this isn't great, but it's just not taking enough risks with storytelling, but it's not bad. And then the bird showed up, I was like, this just got awful really fast. Because if they just took more risks with storytelling, if they developed their characters better, this could have been a perfectly fine movie. Hell, it might have gotten nominated for Best Cinematography or something like that. I don't think it deserves that medal, but that's the only thing I can think of in here that might possibly get nominated. And this movie didn't get nominated. And yeah, as I'm sure you gathered, I can definitely see why. Which is kind of interesting, because like everyone seems shocked that this movie didn't get nominated. It's like, oh, Angelina Jolie's movie didn't get nominated. What? Why? Why didn't it get nominated? It's like, this is fucking why. It's not a good movie. For once, like, Oscars made a decision that was not politics. Okay, I've calmed down now. I'm okay. So, I think in my long-winded rant there, I think I kind of covered everything I have to say about it. I think I managed to clear that in like 30 minutes. That's actually not bad for me. So yeah, this movie could have been so much better. It should have been so much better, but it wasn't, and that's really disappointing. So I guess I'm gonna move on to trailers then. I got the. Oh yeah, this was another one that looks like it's gonna be confusing. I got another trailer for In the Heart of the Sea, which I guess is supposed to be like the true story that the myth of Moby Dick was based on, I guess. I don't know, it looks kind of stupid, to be honest. It looks a giant CGI whale attacking a ship, and there's... The only reason even we're talking about this time, because kind of like this movie, there's just a really bizarre scene that doesn't make any sense to me, where it shows, like, after they're shipwrecked, one guy is holding like an old school pistol up to Chris Hemsworth's character, and he goes, "Say it! Say you're afraid!" And Hemsworth's like, "No." And I'm like, that's worth pointing a gun over? Why? So that's probably gonna be another eyebrow raiser when that comes out. I got the trailer for the Martin Luther King movie again, and I'll probably check that out when it looks good when it comes out. I'll look forward to that. And oh, yeah. Okay. So Disney is making the same goddamn movie again that they just released earlier this year, except now we had $1 Million Arm this year, and now we have McFarland USA coming out next year. And you know what? Same fucking movie. It looks like the exact same goddamn movie. And which is also the exact same goddamn movie from millions of other sports movies, where it has Superman's dad. I forget the actor's name. Who's a rundown coach who goes to lead the PE class for these underprivileged children. And then he decides, like, oh, these kids have talent. How do I reach these kids? And decides, I'm going to lead a track team. And then from there, you can tell it's going to happen exactly the same way that $1 Million Arm did it, in exactly the same way millions of other sports movies have done. So that's just going to be run-of-the-mill. One other thing that annoyed me about this movie. This movie literally tacks on a moral at the end of the movie. Literally just pins it on. To elaborate, this movie ends the same way all war, like true war movie stories, true story movie ends up, where they have the big dramatic shot where Louis reunited with his family. And then you have the fade to black where you show the pictures of the real Louis and what happened to him after the war. And it says Louis Zimmer whatever found God, or devoted his life to God like he said he would on the raft, which is what happened in the movie. And then the kind of fades to black. It's like, okay, moving on, get out of my seat. And he goes, and then he learned that the best way to peace was not war, but forgiveness. Did you really just slap on a moral the last possible fucking second? Ugh. And then it keeps trying to convince me that Bird and Louis have a connection. I'm sure they might have in real life. I'm sure they did in the book. It's not shown here. That's like, I don't know the story. I have not read the book, nor am I ever likely to. I'm sure it's a fine, good book. I'm basing strictly on what they show me in the movie. So take that as you will. So that, I don't know. This movie just sucked. So yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about it. So, the audience I went with seemed to like it. This movie got an applause when we were out. And the guy, I was eavesdropping the guy in front of me as I was leaving. He goes, that was one of the best movies I've seen this year. And I was like, really? Because, okay, if you liked it, fine. Good for you. Enjoy it. It did not do it for me. So yeah, that's like movie 3 of my massive list of things to catch up on. So I'll probably be back tomorrow when I eventually upload all this crap. I got like 5 videos I gotta upload at this point. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Bye-bye.